Really bad enough you tell me not to worry too much about Davis Street. You've been telling me about that every day. Every time I talk to you on the phone. You get late. You've been yelling at me about that lately because you don't want me in your business. About us, sweetheart. And you're really getting mad at me when I'm asking you dumb questions. What time you start work? What time you have your lunch break? What time you get out of work? What time you get on the paratransit all the way home? And what time you get in the house? You don't like it when I get into your business over that. And by getting into your business and asking dumb questions, what you do with your lunch, days with your brother Glenn. You don't like it when I bug you about that. It bothers you, doesn't it? So it does work both ways. But asking you questions, why you spend more time with your brother Glenn so much every Fridays. You don't like for me asking you questions about that. It irritates you every time I keep asking you about your brother Glenn. You're telling me you don't want to hear it. That means you don't want to hear about that right now. When I'm bugging you too much about you spending time with your brother and too much and hanging out with him, doing lunch with your brother, and I'm harassing you about that still. Okay. And you're ready to tell me not to get into your business between you and your brother Glenn. So it does work both ways. How about when you get really irritated when I ask you dumb questions while you spend time with Denise and Glenn every year? When it comes to 4th of July, when I ruined your time with her and Angela doing 4th of July, when I can't bother you with the phone calls and everything. When I can't bother you during her summer break when she was with you at your house. I didn't know she had summer break. I didn't know. And you got really, really defensive with me. You yelled at me when I kept bothering you when you're trying to spend time with your sister. You told me not to bother you when she was here. I remember. By bothering you, doing your outings with your sister and your Matthew. I know you're his uncle, sweetheart. You're Angelo's uncle. I do realize that you are. And remember what happened last year, when I can't bother you with the phone calls when you're trying to spend time with your Matthew and Denise every year for Christmas. And you got mad because I can't bother you the whole entire time on Christmas last year. That was in Culver City when I called you. And you were complaining why I ruined your Christmas with Denise and Angelo last year. You told me not to bother you. You wanted to spend time with Denise and Angelo, and you got mad because I kept calling you so much during Christmas Day. You wanted to spend time with your family. You wanted to be on the phone with me. That's why. And you told me I ruined your Christmas with them. Well, the reason why I can't bother you the whole entire time during Christmas Day, when your sister was here and your Matthew was here at your house, The reason why I kept calling you during last year on Christmas, because I wanted to be alone with you. That's why I kept bothering you. But you're the one that ruined my Christmas with my brother and sister last year, too. You kept telling me when I'm coming home. When I'm coming home. So it does work both ways, doesn't it? You ruined my Christmas. I wasn't supposed to be on the phone with you. I was supposed to be spending time with Ellie and Nina. So I was too busy on the phone with you the whole entire time last year. And then you ruined my time on my vacation. Having you call me when I'm trying to spend time with my parents on all 3 boats. You did. Okay. You should have thought about that. And said that you got me in trouble with my mother and father why I kept calling you so much during my vacation. Well, thanks to you, I had a huge cell phone bill because of me calling you so much. I mean, that's why I was saying mean things about you. That's why I'm being mean to you. You shouldn't have bothered me during my vacation. You got impatient. You kept telling me when I'm coming home. And you called me when I was in Barcelona. And you did. Valencia. You kept bothering me too. You did the same thing when I was in Puma. On the part at Puma. I was on the boat talking to you, having phone calls from my father. That's why. And then when my parents was on the tram this whole time, I was too busy talking to you and having phone calls from my parents. My parents kept telling me to get off the phone, but I didn't want to listen to the rules with that. I wanted to talk to you on my vacation. My father kept telling me to hang up on you. And then what happened? And then you called me when I was in New Orleans. The second boat. And the third boat. You kept calling me too. Then you kept calling me when I was in New Orleans. That was the last trip. So I'm the one that got blamed on when it comes to my cell phone calls with you. I'm the one I kept getting yelled at from my father so many times during my vacation. That's why. And I was practically got homesick. I wanted to come home so bad. That's why. And then you kept bothering me when I was in Culver City. Culver City was the last trip. I was only there for 7 days. And I had to come 7. I was there only for 9 days with my nieces, Maya and Uma Helen. So I kept calling you the whole time and watching TV when I'm focusing on my family. And texting Jamal on the messenger page when I was in Culver City too. You don't see Jamal complaining about my vacations, but you do it more than Jamal does. You seen how many times you got me in trouble with the sex stuff? I've been doing sex talk on my cell phone. That's how my mother called your mother about that. It better not happen again. I better not. That's why my mother made a big deal about it. That's why she solved it by solving it with your mother. She got in the middle of it because my mother told her. It better not happen again. And I better not. Oh, it's going to be on your ass. Big time.